Emily stood frozen in front of the party store window, her little boy's reflection staring back at her. 7 colorful balloons floated inside, tied neatly to a counter. Her son, Noah, pressed his small hands against the glass. "Mom, can I have those for my birthday?" he asked, eyes wide with hope. Emily's heart sank. Rent was due, groceries were already on credit, and her paycheck wouldn't stretch another inch. Balloons, simple, ordinary balloons, were now a luxury she couldn't afford. She forced a smile. "Maybe next year, sweetheart," she whispered. Unbeknownst to her, a man in a sharp suit stood just behind them, overhearing everything. His name was Daniel Grant, CEO of one of the largest companies in the city. He had stepped out of a nearby meeting, but in that instant, business didn't matter. Humanity did. Minutes later, as Emily led Noah toward the bus stop, a delivery van screeched to a halt beside them. Out tumbled a dozen workers carrying balloons, hundreds of them, in every shape and color imaginable. Behind them walked Daniel, holding a cake with Noah's name written in bold frosting. "Happy birthday, Noah," he said warmly. Emily's eyes filled with tears. She had expected disappointment, maybe even heartbreak. Instead, a stranger had turned an ordinary day into magic. That night, as Noah fell asleep clutching a balloon, Emily whispered a promise to herself: kindness can appear when you least expect it, and it can change everything. Emily couldn't stop replaying the scene in her mind. The CEO of an empire had walked out of nowhere and made her son's birthday unforgettable. But what struck her most wasn't the balloons or even the cake, it was the sincerity in his eyes. He didn't look like a man doing charity. He looked like someone who cared. The next morning, as she dropped Noah at school, Emily noticed a black car waiting near the curb. Daniel stepped out, dressed in casual jeans and a sweater instead of his suit. He greeted Noah with a smile and handed him a small wrapped box. "Noah, every hero needs tools for his dreams. This is for you." Inside was a simple sketchbook and crayons. Emily was puzzled. Why not a toy? But when Noah tore into the pages, his excitement lit up the morning. He loved drawing, something Emily had nearly forgotten because she was too consumed by survival. Later that evening, Daniel called Emily. "I hope you don't mind," he said softly. "I saw his eyes light up when he drew on the cake box yesterday. He's an artist at heart." Emily was stunned. Who notices details like that in a 5-year-old? She hesitated before replying. "Mr. Grant, why are you doing this? You don't even know us." There was a pause. Then he said words that made Emily's throat tighten. "Because years ago, someone saw me when I felt invisible. I've been waiting for a chance to return that gift." Emily realized then, it wasn't about balloons, or cake, or gifts. It was about being seen. And sometimes, that was the greatest present of all. The following weekend, Emily came home from her shift at the diner and opened her fridge. A single carton of milk and half a loaf of bread stared back at her. Payday was still 3 days away. She sighed, her chest heavy. She didn't want Noah to feel the hunger she knew too well growing up. When Noah asked for spaghetti, she forced a cheerful tone. "Of course, sweetheart." But she knew there wasn't enough. That evening, there was a knock on her door. Emily frowned. She wasn't expecting anyone. When she opened it, Daniel stood there, holding 2 paper bags filled with groceries. Fresh vegetables, pasta, bread, even chocolate milk for Noah. Emily's face flushed. "You can't keep doing this. I don't want charity." Daniel shook his head. "This isn't charity. It's a reminder, you don't have to carry everything alone." Tears pricked Emily's eyes. She hated feeling weak, yet something about his words softened her walls. She let him in. Noah squealed with delight when he saw the groceries and hugged Daniel's leg as if he'd always belonged in their little world. As they sat down to eat spaghetti together, Daniel shared something unexpected. My mom was a single parent too. She worked 2 jobs, sometimes skipped meals so I could eat. I never forgot the look in her eyes, exhaustion mixed with love. Emily froze, spoon in hand. For the first time, she didn't see a billionaire CEO. She saw a boy who had once been Noah, and a mother who had once been her. The distance between their worlds suddenly didn't feel so impossible. The next week, Emily received an unexpected invitation. A cream-colored envelope slipped under her apartment door. Inside, a handwritten note. Emily and Noah, I'd be honored if you joined me for dinner at my home. No formality, just family. Daniel. Emily almost laughed. Family? What could a billionaire possibly mean by that? Still, Noah's excitement was contagious. Mom, a real mansion. Can we go? That Saturday evening, they arrived at Daniel's estate. Emily expected stiff servants and cold, glittering halls. Instead, she found a cozy kitchen where Daniel himself stirred sauce in an apron. I warned you, no formality, he teased. Dinner was simple, roasted chicken, mashed potatoes, fresh salad. But what struck Emily most was the atmosphere. Daniel asked Noah about school, listened intently to every word, and even joined him on the floor afterward to color in the sketchbook. At one point, Noah held up a crayon drawing. This is you, Mr. Daniel. You're a superhero. Daniel laughed, but Emily noticed his eyes glisten. Later, when Noah ran off to play, Daniel leaned closer. No one's ever called me that before. Emily smiled softly. Maybe that's because you've been too busy saving companies, not people. For a moment, silence hung between them. The kind that said more than words could. Daniel finally whispered, you and Noah, you remind me of what matters. I thought I had everything, but I didn't have this connection. Emily's heart stirred. She had come expecting pity. Instead, she found something she hadn't dared hope for, belonging. Weeks passed, but the kindness of that one birthday kept rippling through Emily's and Noah's lives. Daniel continued to visit, never as a benefactor, but as a friend. He showed up at Noah's school art fair, clapping louder than anyone. He fixed Emily's leaky faucet himself, joking that even CEOs should know how to hold a wrench. But one evening, Emily found herself awake long after Noah was asleep. A question gnawed at her, why us? What if Daniel's kindness disappeared tomorrow, swallowed by his busy world of meetings and deals? She couldn't let her son depend on something so uncertain. The next day, Emily tried to put distance between them. Daniel, she said firmly, you've done more than enough. We can't keep leaning on you. He studied her for a long moment, then smiled gently. Emily, this isn't about leaning. It's about walking together. I don't want to be a passing chapter in your lives. I want to be part of the whole story. Her throat tightened. She saw truth in his eyes, not charity, not guilt, but a longing for family he had never admitted aloud. That weekend, Daniel surprised Noah with a small backyard party at Emily's apartment. Just a few neighbors, homemade decorations, and of course, balloons. As Noah laughed, chasing colors through the air, Emily realized something profound. This wasn't about wealth. It wasn't about balloons or even birthdays. It was about love showing up in the most unexpected places. As the sun dipped low, Noah looked up at Daniel and said, you know, Mom's been smiling a lot more since you came. Emily's eyes filled with tears. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to believe it, this wasn't the end of a magical day. It was the beginning of a new life.